Welcome to Super Happy Dragon Lucky. The show will begin momentarily.
Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best.
Adaptable, all capital, label radical yet rational. A tactical approach is palpable if this animal is fallible, but that conclusion is laughable. So with for all detachable from the mandible, you see it now.
Hello, welcome to Super Happy Dragon Lucky, the Dragonchain update show. This is episode 0xf0, pronounced Flevendy. This is the 241st episode. A reminder, nothing on the show is financial advice, and stay tuned after all of the updates for an AMA. First up, Dragonchain updates. Last week's Super Happy Dragon Lucky distribution of governance lot. The episode created 716 lot. There were 2 questions for 179 lot each. There were no featured posts. The host received 179 lot and Dragonchain received 179 lot. I guess we have one other update, and I don't know how even to call it an update, but essentially make sure you watch us next week. That there is a Dragonchain related announcement, reveal, whatever it is, one of the projects that we've been working on, the project that I've mentioned many times on this show and on the roundtable. So we're going to go over that next week, or at least the beginning of everything coming out. So make sure you watch us there, and you'll get some cool info. Next, we'll go to Den.Social updates. So let's see here. First up, we have the March 2024 LCP, the Lair creation process. Commitment phase is now underway. Make your commitment by next Tuesday, March 19 at 1000 Eastern, 1500 UTC. And make sure you check all of the entries, both sides of the number of participants that have committed, and also in unique votes, and also the total number of votes, total amount of lore, I guess I should say. So pay attention to that. There's some good stuff in there still. Also, Coffee with Den still on hold. DenDAO, no DenDAO today meeting. So join us again. It'll be next Thursday is the next meeting. And there is a discussion on the time change. And let me see if I pulled that up or not. So here is the new time change, and get in there and just let us know what time you think it should be. Let's see here. I'm gonna pull that away. I'll go back here, and let's see here. World Blockchain Roundtable updates. Okay, in case you missed it last week, was what's the next problem that blockchain can solve, was the episode title. Go watch and share it. The more views it gets first week, the more all the participants will get. It was actually a fun show. Lots of really good info, and some good back and forth. Also, episode 147 airs today at 1100 Eastern in less than an hour and 1600 UTC. The topic is, why has Solana's popularity and utility grown recently? Get in there and ask some questions and vote the questions up or down that you want to hear answers to. Let's see here. So while I refresh, I'm going to go ahead and share this so you can see it. While I refresh the tab for the AMA, please like and share this video so everybody knows that they need to come in next week and watch again. And we'll go straight to AMA. So first question from Alexans. Have you seen the latest projects on X or Twitter that plagiarize Dragon or DRGN? I saw somebody mentioned something recently. Let's see here. Okay, yeah, this one. And I have not paid much attention to these. This used to happen all the time. I think in a bull market, stuff like that happens a lot, and people just copy other people and try to grab money and do whatever they would do with the money. And who knows? I have no idea. I have no idea if those projects have anything going on. But yeah, I am for AM. I assume DRGN. Yeah. And by the way, I mean, the ticker itself, and you would maybe think it's a bad design in how they handle. It's not a very well integrated design. I mean, the tickers are not reserved. Anybody can copy another ticker, which can lead to lots of scams and other things, of course, right? So in the end, don't pay attention to them, or at least, call them out for what they probably are, and leave it at that, I guess. Okay, next, I am for I am. Back in the day, a long time ago in blockchain industry measured time, Dragonchain was once described as the ETH killer, or a ETH killer, because it could scale and ETH couldn't. And I'm going to make a real quick comment on that, even that there are very interesting things related to that discussion. We were mentioned in several articles at the time, in several even more traditional news outlets. Not necessarily just the crypto news itself, as an ETH killer, or perhaps the ETH killer. And the funny thing is, it wasn't even at the time as a relation of the ability to scale or not. I'm an engineer. I'm a software guy. I'm a tech guy. That's all I was focused on, was the ability to scale, because the ability to scale equals the ability to solve the world's problems, which is what blockchain it is. It's another tool in a full belt of many that can be used to solve many problems. And when it comes into that, scalability is the premier thing. Security is a massive thing too. Flexibility is a massive thing. I say that often to the annoyance of many, but if you don't have scalability, you don't have jack shit. Nothing can be done with a platform that can't scale. You're going to end up building things, or people are going to end up building things that can't scale, and that is detrimental to the reputation of the technology itself, because everybody then thinks, oh, well, blockchain doesn't scale. You can't do X or Y because it's too expensive, or blah, blah, blah. And it's all a misconception, because people are too lazy to attempt to understand even at a high level, the actual technical reality of what's possible as humans, I guess. So the question you have, and by the way, the other thing about that is, it is my theory that because we were featured in those articles independently, not through us, most of them, if not all of them, possibly never even spoke to us about this notion that we were an Ethereum killer, because at the time I was even, anyone who asked me, I was like, well, no, it's stupid. Why would we be an Ethereum killer? We integrate with Ethereum. We literally have our token deployed on Ethereum for several reasons. And so it's an interesting thing, but I believe, my theory is that is one of the things that led to the SEC coming after us, because we were getting in the way of that regulatory capture and that monopoly that was intended for Ethereum, or intended, I say, paid for. So under some subscription licensing. So anyway, that aside, your question: what is the best example that demonstrates how Dragonchain can scale, and what application proves it can scale? Could ETH that we know today do this? Is Den a good example of Dragonchain scaling capabilities? Okay, so several. There are several customers who are, and some of them are just beginning to use Dragonchain, and their biggest requirement was scalability. The things that they have to do require scalability. And when we talk about scalability, we should mention there is traditional scalability that you will hear about even in the 90s on especially internet scale operations. But then there is also what I tend to call economic scalability, which deals with the fees which you have in the non-traditional, the new world of Web3 or decentralized applications of some type, that you have to have economic scalability as well. And it is my assertion that Dragonchain has solved both of these for the blockchain world, because we adopt what the traditional world does for scalability. That is, all the best practices, anything that comes out in the coming months or years or decades ahead, Dragonchain or your Dragonchain blockchain that you build using Dragonchain can leverage all of those advantages in the future. Google scale, crazy scale of what we've seen in the let's say the startup social media world, as an example. The fact that Dragonchain can do that is amazing. The fact that we solve the economic scalability is, in my opinion, very powerful and likely historically significant. And it does paint a good picture of the state of the world today, and how it's controlled and how the money flows, that even, how do I say, even the smart people in much of the Web3 world have never really had an interest in or inquire how we've done what we've done, or if it could be applied in any way into any of their networks. Which, by the way, some of it would be a welcome addition. I would help people do some of these things because it could solve problems in the world, and because the way that Dragonchain interconnects with all of these other networks, it would be a net benefit for all of us. But none of them have even had any interest in figuring out what it is or why it is that we talk about that. And so, for examples, I would say, the key one that comes off that's very obvious is the 24-hour demonstration, wherein, and I think it was in 2019, pretty sure it was early 2019, where we essentially ran over 250 million transactions in a 24-hour period. And they were, it was not intended to give us a high transaction per second throughput metric or anything like that. It was to prove over the long haul that Dragonchain can very easily, without even very much expense, scale to the level beyond the global Visa payment network. That we did more transactions in that 24-hour period than the Visa network would do. I think on a peaked average, I can't remember. We adjusted it. I have to look, but essentially that we could keep up with Visa payment numbers on Black Friday or around Christmas holiday, right? So that's a huge scaling effect, and the fact that every single one of those transactions went through in completion, and every single one of those transactions was completed in its consensus with proof all the way to Ethereum and Bitcoin. And at the time, I think it was running the old Binance chain as well. I'd have to look, but essentially multiple external networks were securing those transactions along with all the time on all the nodes on Dragonchain, which at the time was like, I think there were like somewhere between 1,500 and 2,000 blockchain, Dragonchain blockchain nodes on the network, DragonNet nodes. So that was one of them, obviously. The next that would be worthwhile looking at, if ever you needed to point it to someone, would be to look at the Reddit scaling project. I almost said fiasco. The project where essentially, we took it as a demonstration, knowing that they would never select us because it was, I think it was sponsored by certain groups that only favor certain chains, and that's what they were expecting. But we easily beat the numbers on every other chain. And by the way, offered integration with any other chain. That is, if they wanted to issue tokens on Ethereum or on Solana or elsewhere, we were game to integrate that as well. And it's totally doable. And it's doable in a fortnight. It's not even something that would take them years to do. The cost for that system is documented. I think Jason, if you look at Jason's thread on Twitter, he pointed to it that Solana had posted it, and they, Solana was gracious enough and confident enough, which is great, to actually post that our standings were in that chart above their own. But they're doing a different thing than we are, so it's workable. It makes sense. But we proposed something that would let them capture every single post, every single reply on Reddit or in every subreddit, even that we could actually keep up. Not with, their challenge was for only one, I think, the cryptocurrency layer. It might have been the Ethereum layer, though I can't remember. And we actually projected it for all of Reddit, all their posts, all their replies, and all their votes, because it was our contention that the proposal they were giving was not at all decentralized, not at all transparent, and not at all right if they want to do anything real. So we posted a pretty long paper on it, and there's a ton of great info on the scaling, how it works, why you should want to do it this way, so on, and very powerful presentation, which was lambasted by the great people on Reddit. Horrible people on Reddit. Don't go there. Don't go to Reddit. Find it somewhere else. I think it's on Den somewhere, probably. Jason had some info on it as well. But anyway, really good info there. And other than that, yes, Den does exactly that. We don't have on Den the same amount of volume that you would have on Reddit. But Reddit has a ton of bots, and they always did from the beginning. They've admitted as such as well. It's how VCs in America do fraudulent fundraising. They get bots to enhance a network so that they can pretend like there are millions of people using it in the early days, and it's growing in use exponentially. Den doesn't do that, so we don't have that those numbers to brag about, which are fake numbers. So, but every single transaction is on chains. That is anything you do on Den, whether it is a vote in all of the prediction markets, the content evaluation prediction markets, every single post, every single reply, every image, all of the content is on chain. And all of the governance votes for all of the layers that are DAOs effectively to some level, depending upon how they want to do things. So it's a great example. And that's why, one of the big reasons we built it was to demonstrate what could be done. Because again, it seems that the VCs in the world are not all interested in money. They're interested in controlling how money's made and by whom. So anyway, great questions. There were only 2 this week. There is also, let's see here. I'm going to pull this one out, and I'm going to show this, that we do have a post with featured content from the aforementioned Jason, who has, whoops. Oh, I voted. I don't think it's Dragon. So I should vote it down, even though I love Jason. Here's an article on X explaining the tokenomics if you guys want to share Den.Social to new people. Simplified explanation, part of my 300 daily post series. Thanks for the support. Follow me on X for daily Dragon Love articles. Some of the best stuff that's ever been posted on Dragonchain is his X of 300 on X about Dragonchain. Tons and tons of good info. More than, like, sometimes I'll read one of the posts. It's like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. I forgot we built that. I forgot that we described it that way. I forgot that that was a thing, and I forgot that everybody ignored it. So It's a beautiful thing, and someday, and there's lots of awesome art, of course, dragon art. Someday, people will realize what they've been missing all this time. And, Jason, we're here for you. You let us know if ever you need anything. So that's everything. So great amount of stuff. In closing, make sure you go get some Dragonchain and Den merch at Dragonchain.Store. I'm looking here at the Super Happy Dragon Lucky. Number goes up. Numbers go up. Number go up. Jeez, no plural involved. The number go up stuff. And by the way, I'm going to say there is a good amount of, there's the Liberty stuff. There's the distress flag, which is maybe even more Liberty realist than anything else. And by the way, I need to order some of these. I'm thinking, take note, I'm thinking that anything with an American flag, I'm probably going to remove from the store soon, because I don't think we should be selling that anymore, given what they're doing to us. So next, also, speaking of which, make sure if you have any ability at all, please contribute to the legal fund, even if it's in crypto. Our attorneys have said they will accept any crypto. So please do whatever you can. And if you can't, at least support us online. And make sure you watch us again next week. Again, Super Happy Dragon Lucky. And it's not an announcement of an announcement per se. It is just I want enough people watching when we expose this new project. And it'll be a slow rollout, exposing how it works, because as you can imagine, it's probably more technical than a lot of projects that do get announced these days. So, and that is a Dragonchain related announcement. Again, next week on Super Happy Dragon Lucky. Also, watch us again in about 36 minutes on World Blockchain Roundtable today at 1100 Eastern, 1600 UTC. It's about Solana. Should be fun. Hopefully, I will learn a few things even. And make sure you follow Dragonchain, Real Denizens, and Jojo Row also on Twitter, LinkedIn, and Den.Social. Of course, we will be linking to info on that project next week as well. So that is everything, and I will talk to you guys soon.
Yeah. Young Satoshi. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. Dragonchain, 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 Dragonchain. Mine 10 blocks on the blockchain. My ETH father for the got paid. These dragons selling like they hotcakes. We going to the moon like we don't got breaks. If you want to transact on a marketplace, Dragonchain, Dragonchain, Dragonchain. Dragonchain, 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 Dragonchain. Mine 10 blocks on the blockchain. My ETH father for the got paid. These dragons selling like they hotcakes. We going to the moon like we don't got breaks. If you want to transact on a marketplace, Dragonchain, Dragonchain, Dragonchain. My ETH costs more than your rent. I spend my life savings get a 10. Dragons get the hottest coming next. Me and Joe Rose make a bet. All this shit seem new to me. Mix a blockchain with security. Keeping data safe is the fluency. How could you not fuck with the company?